If you have a problem with clutter or too much stuff, if it becomes bigger and bigger challenge to clean up the space around you, it's very easy to feel guilty because of that. Well, after all, it was you or me who bought all this stuff or acquired it in one way or another. So it's very easy to feel guilty because it's my fault, right? And what's the problem? What's the big problem? Why can't I just start decluttering and just do it? Why can't I just clean up my space and keep it clean? Well, I would like to tell you today that although it is your full responsibility to clean up your house, it's not entirely your fault that it got so cluttered. It's not your fault. There's really no reason to feel so guilty. If you consider how many companies are working very hard to influence you every day and motivate you to buy more and more stuff, you start to realize that it's not entirely your fault, although it is your responsibility. You may say, okay, but I'm a human, right? I can just not buy. Nobody's forcing me, nobody's twisting my arm to buy another thing. On the one hand, you're right. But on the other hand, if you think about it, there are numerous techniques that are built especially for this purpose, to motivate you to buy. These techniques are built in a way that will hit exactly in the core of your humanity. Very often these techniques hit in the best part of us, the part that is trusting, for example, that we believe that somebody is telling the truth when they tell us that this or this object will definitely change our life for better. The part of us that is hopeful, that we hope that everything will be okay. Maybe if we buy this and this object, our life truly will change for the better. Because hope always dies last. Hope, being hopeful, is one of the most beautiful things of being a human. So these techniques are uncountable and very well researched. There is a lot of money going into this one particular type of research, finding techniques that will be the most effective in convincing a potential client to make a purchase, to buy an object. So although it is in the end our responsibility that we buy so much stuff, and you may say that it is okay, I'm to blame, because in the end it was me who took out the wallet. Personally, I don't think you really are to blame. I don't think it is really your fault. I think it's just your responsibility to deal with consequences. And it starts with the cluttering. At the same time, of course, it is always a good idea to learn about these techniques for this simple reason, so that you will not get so, not to say manipulated, so pushed by them the next time. So it's always a good idea to learn about sales techniques, so to speak. I have very strong feelings about these techniques. That's why I'm trying not to use any not objective vocabulary here. However, when it comes to decluttering, it is easier. It is easier than not buying more stuff, to be honest. Because it just takes learning a few methods that can help you with that. Yes, I created one of these methods, but the method described in my book is not the only one. To be honest, the decluttering principles, the basic principles that are generally known, are very simple. Usually we just need a bit of support, somebody who can accompany us on this way, maybe a book or two to just put it all together, give us a good plan, and we can do it. I promise you, you can do it. If you want to start, you can start even at this moment. why don't you try pick up one object that is somewhere in your area, and just see, does this object make you feel in any way guilty? Are you holding on to it because in any way you feel guilty because you bought it, right? So now you should use it. How can you not use it? You paid for it. But the truth is, the money is gone. The money is already gone. Now the object, if you don't use it, if it's completely unuseful to you, all that it does is take up the space and block the energy and take up the air, let's say, in the room. So why don't you try take this one object and put it somewhere out of sight. Put it somewhere you don't see it, you don't think about it, you don't use it. And check after a month. Have you used this object? Have you taken it back? And how did you feel when you didn't need to look at it anymore? Did you feel better? If yes, why don't you just get rid of it? Forget about the money. Because, like I said, the guilt isn't truly and entirely yours. It's not that simple. I know that a lot of companies would like to believe that if they buy, it's their problem, right? It's their problem, they believe me. But I also feel the responsibility lies on their side too. But the responsibility to clean up our space is our own. The responsibility not to buy in the future is our own. But definitely what we can do at this very moment is let go of guilt. Forget about it. Just let go of guilt. It's not worth the cost. This type of guilt that comes from buying something, it's never worth the cost. The cost is too high. So just let go of guilt, and then you'll see it will be easier to let go of objects.